So guys, the other day, my name's Mike, I'm an alcoholic, it's good to be here. I miss you guys, I was very excited to come to work today. I thought Saturday was a really good day. I like the energy that's here, I like seeing people, hey Caleb, I like seeing people like give a shit about, you know, their lives and what they're trying to do. We talked a little bit the other day about what your main goal is, but today we're gonna start the discussion off, and anytime I've done this, only one time, but somebody kind of got a little bit uncomfortable with it. So if it makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to share. But really, I want to go around the room, and I want everybody, I want to know what you want to be remembered for. Like, what they'll say about you at your funeral, right? And I don't mean your funeral in 2 weeks. Like, I'm talking about you live a nice, long life, and what your friends and family and kids and grandkids, what you want them to say about you versus what they probably be saying about you right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because here's the thing. I did this the other day. Who in here has kids? Almost everybody, right? Here's the thing. If you're an active drug addict and alcoholic, and if you're living that life and you have kids, most likely I think they love you, right? They love you. But most likely your parents that they're stuck with, not ones that they're proud of, right? Well, listen, I grew up in that type of, you know what I mean? One of my parents was, one of my parents wasn't. And I love my mother, I love her to this day, but especially when I was younger, especially in those ages, it was like, I was kind of stuck with her instead of, you know, because if you're a kid especially and you're watching your parents live like that, there's a lot of stuff that really gets under their skin and bothers them. They start looking at you with the side eye. So young lady, did you hear what I was talking about? No, because you just sat down. This is what we're going to go around. Okay.
I heard.
Okay, well, nice to see you.
Nice.
So, like I said, what do you want them to say? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to say about you? And the people I'm talking about are the ones you care about. What do you want them to say about you, and what do you think they'd be saying about you today?
Well, I want them to be proud of me. They probably aren't right now.
Okay. Lauren, go ahead. I'm going to come back to you.
I think I want to be remembered as loving and creative artist and compassionate nurse.
You're a nurse? Oh, thank you for your service. Okay, so, and before we get into Jacob, this is what I'm going to say. 5 years ago, if I would have overdosed, after I overdosed the many times that I did, what they would have said about me probably is, he was a good guy, he was a nice guy. He, loved his kids, loved his family. He had a lot of potential, fell short in a lot of ways. Blew a lot of opportunities, he could have got this, all this type of stuff, you know what I mean? And now, they'd say he overcame an obstacle and became a better person for it. I really believe that's what they say. Go ahead.
So right now they're probably saying he's done this before and we're not going to wait around for him to get better. Or he's going to have to earn it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With anything. Trust, everything. Right? And then I was just thinking of what was on my tombstone. Was that he faced his demons, he overcame them, and we don't have to worry no more.
Yeah. Well, and you've heard me say this and maybe a couple other, America loves the underdog story, right? Because here's the thing, guys, this is what I'm about to tell you. Every single person in this room has two types of people in their life right now. You have people that are praying for your success, and you have people that are praying for your downfall. Now let me ask you, to me, what would seem like the only option?
Success.
Right? Because the ones that are praying for your downfall, what's the best fuck you?
Success.
Exactly. No, for real. And listen,
Yeah, no, I'm glad.
I use that as some motivation. You know what I mean? Like, me and my ex-wife, she put me out. We were together for 21 years. She put me out. I was like, I don't give a shit. I was like, I'm not gonna show her that she was right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not. And I had, especially after I came to Texas, I had a real serious, I am not going out like that. Like once I had detox a little bit, went to treatment and came out here, I kept saying to myself, I'm not going out like that. Like I'm not gonna be found dead of an overdose. I'm not gonna keep doing this type of shit. Like I really, really, really want better. Like, and I made a decision. I told you guys, I made a decision. While I'm in Texas, I'll do every single thing they say. When I was talking to people in the program, if they told me to stand on my head, I would have did it. Even though I wouldn't have thought it was gonna do anything, I would have did it just because I was afraid it wouldn't have did something. Like I got to that point, like I am not going out like that. You guys have to have that, you have to have that motivation. Okay.
Always more laughter than tears, and just a rock solid guy in terms of, you know, willing and able to help out. I mean,
Yeah. Stand-up guy, dependable.
Yeah.
You know, not like, because here's the thing. That's all you now, but the drugs and alcohol, I know it's alcohol for you. For me, especially, it makes us fall short in a lot of other
Well,
ways.
for me, it's like the willingness has always been there to help out. Like I just haven't been able to at certain
Yeah.
points, and it makes me feel like a shit. Even though like it's not my life per se in shambles. Like I wasn't there to help out my brother one time when he really just needed a leg up, and I couldn't. I was just financially strapped, and I felt like a loser,
Yeah.
the same way he did. And I want to be able to help him again. So.
Because there's something in us, man. We want to be of service. We want to be dependent. It makes us feel good about ourselves, right? If I told you, when I tell you this disease is rooted in low self-esteem and fear, right? What does that do for your self-esteem when all of a sudden you're doing the right things? Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden you don't feel like a piece of shit anymore when you're able to give someone a leg up and lift somebody up. Good.
Honest and charitable. That's how I want to be viewed.
Would that be now?
No. Well, in the future,
Yeah.
my legacy will leave behind. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's pretty easy to be that when we're not stuck in this selfish way of life, right? Can we all agree that when we're using, we're living a selfish way of life?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that doesn't mean we won't go out of our way for people. It doesn't mean we won't do things, but, because I don't know about you, my drug use got to the point where if I didn't have that, I couldn't do anything else. So how wasn't I thinking of myself first? You know what I mean? How am I going to get out of bed and go to work and take care of the kids and do this if I'm sick and I can't function? And, you know what I mean? Like I was a complete slave to it. So I needed it just to get out. So I'm making sure I don't run out. I'm making sure I got it. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm thinking of me and my needs and addiction before anybody else. Lawrence, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want them to say about you when you pass away?
I help people along the way, and then I changed my life, turned my life around.
Yeah.
Made something good. You know.
He was a cool son of a bitch.
They might say that either way.
Bought motorcycles when I didn't own them, bought me rifles when I didn't own them, take it to Crown on Christmas because we bought me rifles that could get car. I was 5. Oh, well, he was a pretty good dad. He had problems, but he was okay. Might be a good granddad.
How about the best granddad? Why not? Shoot for the stars, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so when you first mentioned this, the thing that came to me was I want you to say that I was selfless. And then you brought it up just now, and just, in every way what you said, I have been selfish, just in general, because probably before I drank. I want to be known as selfless. I can't imagine anything better than that. Because that goes with everything.
Yeah.
That's like, well, I can't volunteer unless I feel good enough. Well, you know, my husband says I'm having an affair with a bottle.
And that's like the truest shit ever.
And my daughters
Yeah.
say, you know, you're never going to see my grandchildren because you love that bottle more than you love us. And it's like, you know, if I have a choice to go to my kids or go to the bottle, I'm always going to go to the bottle. That's what an addict does.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing.
And how could that not be a sickness, right? Because I know if I asked you, who do you love more, your kids, your grandkids, or that bottle? Who would you lay down on a
Of course
train?
I would say my kids.
Yeah, you'd lay down on a train track for them, right? Like no questions asked. You do, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
And you know, my therapist said, you're looking at your kids and you're looking at the liquor. What is it? Why can't, I said, you're not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You will never understand.
You're,
It looks very simple to you.
yeah.
You'll never understand unless you're in my shoes.
Well, that's people thinking that we have a choice, right? Like, I remember there was a guy here and I left and I was sponsoring him, and his wife called me, he was like, he's in bad shape and he's this and he's that, and she's like, I just don't know how he would choose that over us. And I'm like, I'm telling you, if he could make the choice, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it was possible for him to make the choice, he'd choose you guys every time. He's just sitting. Like, guys, do you understand how powerful the subconscious is? We usually don't understand. So here's the thing. Did anybody here, like, when it comes to a human being that's on survival mode, it's like food, sex, communication, war, whatever it is, the 5 things that we need to survive, right? When you are sitting in the chair that you're sitting in, on a conscious and subconscious level, you'll think of drugs and alcohol more than any of those. You rewire your brain. That's why I say, instead of saying rewire your brain, I'm saying if you're sitting in this room, you've effed yourself. And not like on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like but nonetheless, you're effed. Now there's a way to un-F yourself. Now what are you willing to do? Here's the thing, just deciding to un-F yourself. Well, that's it, I'm done, I'm good. How many people in here have said that? A million times, or just one time, and could pass a lie detector. That's it, I'm good. When the husband or the grandkids or whatever, I can't believe you do that. You say, no. Here's what we say too. No, I'll be good, right? Like it's a moral issue, right? Like, I'll be good, I promise, I'm done. I can't, we're feeling the effects. We hate ourselves. We hate what the shit's doing. We hate that it's a part of our life. And we will pass a lie detector test over and over, man, that's it, I'm done. And then that subconscious and that conscious get to working. And we start that obsession and that compulsion. You know what I'm saying? This disease kicks in, and all of a sudden, whether it's a day, a week, a month, whatever it is, the idea to have a drink becomes paramount. I'm taking this right out of the book. Becomes paramount to all other things. The husband, the wife, the kids, the this, that, all that shit goes away, and you can't think of a reason not to drink. Bradley, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to simply say, I stopped saying I'm sorry years ago. I say nothing now.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna believe me anyway. So I say nothing. That's all. Right.
Thank you, Rosie. Bradley.
I don't even know, man. It's a tough exercise. I've thought about this shit a lot because I've almost died a lot, and I don't know what they'd say. I mean, I know what I want them to say. If I can get this shit down and be clean, but they're pretty polite, so I think regardless.
Hey, you think they'd be a little pissed at you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but
what
I
the
mean,
fuck, man?
regardless, it would be, he's a good son, he's a good
Yeah,
father,
yeah,
he
yeah.
loved his son, blah blah blah.
Had all the potential.
But I know what it is, so it's hard for me to say what would be said. But
Now, do you want, here's the thing. How do you want your legacy to be? Do you want to go out like that?
hell no.
All right, now, how serious is that? When I asked you the other day about your main goal, when I ask what your main goal is, I don't think, when I say main goal, I mean the goal that tops all others, so that we don't let nothing get in the way of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not just something we'd like to happen. Yeah, I'd like to be sober, but,
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the shit that you put there, and you say, under no circumstances am I letting anything get in the way of that, because, and I want you guys all to say to yourself, I am not going out like that. I am not going to be, who in here has people that are like, you know what, man, you're no good, you're never going to be no good, man, fuck off. Do people have people like that in their life? Come on. I know some people do.
I'm not sure what you're discussing here at the beginning of the meeting, what exactly
I want to know right now what you want your legacy to be and what it would be right now. What do you want people to say about you? You understand what I'm saying?
You know what's crazy though? Just let me wrap it real quick.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? When my pops came up here the other day, he was saying shit I didn't expect. I've only been clean for 2.5 weeks, and he's like, "We're proud of you. We're excited. We're all this and that." I didn't expect that shit already. I know I haven't done anything yet, but we beat ourselves up so much that we don't realize how much being clean and just being alive means to our loved ones.
Because here's the thing. If you're sitting in this room, I got you 1 second. If you're sitting in this room, addiction has been kicking the shit out of you.
In my family.
this is what I say all the time. I compare it to if we were fighting Mike Tyson. because nobody in here can, even at his age.
Damn it.
Exactly. So now, say right now you're gonna be in the ring and you're gonna be fighting Mike Tyson. Who gets the tickets to sit in the front row?
Right.
Your family and your friends. And they're watching you get your ass beat over and over. And they're going like this. They're like, man, just throw in the towel, please.
Right.
Please. And you know what we say? Don't worry, I got this. We say, mind your own business.
We got some heart, that's what we got.
What?
We got some heart, is what we got.
Well, yeah, I mean, foolish pride, right? Like, oh, I can do this on my own, right? I got this. I got this. Don't worry about me. This is the shit we say, even though we have zero evidence to prove that.
Yes.
You know what No, that's how fucked up it is. You know what I'm saying? No, we say, I'll be good this time. I got this, don't worry. Yeah, last time you went, how long after, listen, be honest. When you left treatment last time, how long did you stay sober?
Not even a minute.
I
They bought a bottle of wine in the airport because of COVID. And there's
No, not because of
bar.
COVID.
Oh, no, there's
Okay.
no bars.
Yeah,
So I bought a
oh.
bottle of wine and drank it in the restroom.
Yeah.
They got on the plane and got a free beer. Then I got another 2-3 racks of Hurricane, some joints, and got high with my neighbor right before he died of leukemia.
So my point being,
Yeah.
you went to treatment, you were there for how long?
45 days.
45 days. And the minute he got hey, handsome, how you doing?
Just want to tell you that I love you and I'm glad you're back.
I love you too, man. I miss the shit out of you.
I'll see you later on.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
Yes.
All right, guys, take care of each other.
So,
That's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
yes, and then,
Really, I would hate for my sister to get a phone call saying that I died of overdose. I would hate that. And, matter of fact, I just got a recovery. I got done and did last week. Relapsed about 3 days later. But, really, I was saying that I would hate to go down with my sister and to see, for her to see me high on meth. I didn't want to do that, but that's exactly what I did. That's what I did. Of course, she didn't like it. She gave me let's take it back to Dallas. But I think my sister would be really angry at me if I died of an overdose. I feel that.
I think no doubt about it. Especially when people like us have had multiple chances, and every time our family goes, man, you look good, you're doing good, I'm proud of you. And they are so, they're willing almost to do more for our recovery than we are. And then they watch you do that. Because here's the thing. Make no mistake about it. Whoever you have in your life that you care about, whatever type of relationship that is, we have obligations in that relationship, right? Like, for our husbands, right? We love them and respect them and treat them nice. And, it's like we have these things that we should and have to be doing in order to be in a relationship, right? So to do with the stuff, to do the things we do, to hurt them the way we hurt them, I promise you, and let me ask you guys, I want everybody in here to ask yourself this. Would you put up with the shit that your husband does? Like, if your husband did the shit you did, would you put up with it?
No.
I know.
No.
My ex-wife used to say that shit to me all the time. She's like, you never put up with this shit. I'm like, you're right. No, for a fact. You know what I mean? And here it is, they're putting up with that shit and they're riding with us, and we're like, listen to me. Not only do we suck the life out of them, but like we damage them terribly. And we do all this shit, yeah, it's part of the disease, and yes, it is a byproduct of it, but guess what? It is still us. You know what I mean? Like, it's still us, yeah.
Really, I don't know what it's going to take, because right here, even though the recovery was like, you can do it one more time. And now, really, if I let myself, if I didn't keep it subdued in my spirit, I could curl up like a worm and just cry.
Yeah.
I'm depressed, I'm mad, I'm angry. Even today.
Yeah.
I keep that subdued. But I'm depressed underneath all this glamorous smiling and niceness up the tray. But I'm really sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick, And I don't know what it's gonna take, but I do want to be.
Well, listen, can I tell you, I know what it's gonna take. Are you willing to do it?
I don't know.
And and that's an honest answer, and I appreciate that. Because this is the whole thing. It's not that you're not gonna just make a decision to be okay. You're not just gonna decide. There's no light bulb that's gonna go off while you're here going, all right, I'm cured. It takes work and being uncomfortable and willingness. Like, they talk about there's 3 things that are indispensable. Honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And I promise you, in my opinion, willingness is the most important thing. Because you ain't even gotta be that honest or open-minded, but if you get up and go every day and you do it, the shit somehow works. But what are you willing to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you, like, what is your main goal? Like, really think about that. Think about the people, no matter what age you are, being at your, because listen, you go, I don't care how young you are, I don't care what your drug of choice is. If you leave here and you start doing stuff, you can find yourself in a terrible accident or overdose and find yourself dead. And there's a whole bunch of wreckage after that.
See, that's what happened. She took me to Houston, and she dropped me off to make a bus stop there. I couldn't get the story. And an hour and a half layover for the bus came, and an hour and a half less than 3 times for me. I'm going to look at it. So since I'm not looking, and during that hour span there, I lost my identity, all my luggage, everything I owned went. So, you know, it's a hard fight. And you would think, man, surely that's enough for him. But
I'm telling, there is no pain, there is no like limit, like, oh man, you should just know better, man. Crystal, you wanna go here?
Yes.
Okay.
I would want to be remembered for being the most non-judgmental person that loves everybody equally.
Okay.
The same.
Okay. But they might remember, if you pass away tomorrow, they might say that, but what else are they gonna say? Holy shit, was she a handful?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, because here's the thing, when we're in active addiction, guys, it is, man, what can I get out of this world? What about me? I deserve this, I deserve that. What did you say before? Like, guys, let's just think about our grandparents or people in our life that were really selfless, really humble people, really honest people, really giving people. Aren't those the ones we like or love the most?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, not the selfish, arrogant motherfucker, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the one that like gives, like selfless and love. There is much love and understanding. Like you were just saying, Crystal, like someone who's really understanding of somebody and somebody who gives somebody a second, a third, or fourth chance. Like,
Yeah.
I think everybody in here is naturally built that way. But this disease has caused us to be very selfish and self-centered. And then it causes that sense of entitlement and that ego. And then sometimes it makes us nasty motherfuckers if we don't get what we want. You know what I mean? And that is not us. Here's the thing, guys. We are naturally built. Listen, we have a blueprint that is imprinted in us when we are born. And it's basically how to be the most happy and peaceful and serene person can be. And that's to be selfless and to live by our conscience. Does anybody in here not think that they are born to live by their conscience? Because, you don't think so?
No. My parents gave me an examination of conscience.
Because here's the thing. If you don't think that your conscience is something that's a driving force in your life, why do we always rationalize or justify our bullshit behavior? It's to get by the conscience, right? I mean, how many people in here, and I know this is a good one for you, how many people in here have their husband and their wife or their boyfriend or girlfriend has had it with them for a while about their drinking, and then they start giving them a hard time, and we say, man, if they're going to accuse me, if they're going to give me a hard time, I might as well just keep it.
Yeah, I used that little.
We've all done that, right? We've all done that.
I was coming home from work one day, and my commute was like 70 miles up in the Panhandle, and my wife called and she said, you might as well turn your fucking ass around. I said, what do you mean? She said, I never thought I'd tell you this, but we're getting a divorce. And she said, you cannot stop drinking. You know, and in my mind, I'm like, freedom. But looking back, it was self-imprisonment, you know, instead of,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I get and then she's married again to a guy she dated in high school. And after we got divorced, she told me, she said, you know, when I commit to something, or after she got married to him, she said, when I commit to something, I mean it. And Jacob, her new husband, even told her, I'm really surprised I get this chance, because when you got married, I thought it was for good.
Yeah.
You know, and I couldn't hold on to the bargain, so there I was. Which is, I'm thankful now. I'm thankful she's a good mother, but she had enough of my shit.
Well, I mean, listen, we break people.
Yep.
We break people. My ex-wife is an RN, she's a nurse, never comes home from work early. Never comes home from work early, right? So I go in the bathroom to get high. I throw like $3,000 or $4,000 on the bed. I've got like 50 grams of heroin, 10 grams of this, 10 grams of that, whatever. I'm in the bathroom getting high. And spoiler alert, I'm not supposed to be getting high or something. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, she had accused me a few days before, and I swore on everything, and no. She came home, and she's like, Michael. I mean, listen, she didn't yell, she didn't fuss. She said, every time I think you're doing something, you convince me you're not. And then I find out you are. She said, you gotta go. You are making me crazy. And I knew right then I broke her. Knew. I mean, and listen, I was breaking her for a very long time, right? Very long time. I told you, I would go in and out of treatment for a long time, and I would get months and months and months clean. And that is just long enough to give everybody hope, and everybody to be like, well, they start breathing a little bit easy, and this and that, and then I kick them all right in the nuts again. You know what I mean? I mean, it's really, really damaging stuff to do to somebody. I mean, if you love somebody, and you're watching them smash their head against the wall, it's gonna break your heart. And then they're begging you to stop, and you're begging, yeah, please, like the fight in the Tyson, right? You're in there for a round, and you're whooping your ass, and they're saying, give up. And when you run to the ring, and you get better, and you drink some water, and you do good, and they're like, oh, thank God, you come to his senses. And then as soon as they let their guard down, you run right in and get punched in the face again. I mean, it's terrible, but this is what we do. Do you understand? You see how frustrating it is to love us? You see how frustrating it is? You know, and if we did pass away now, there'd be some people that'd be like, man, what the fuck? Why couldn't he get it? He had so much, he had so much potential.
Or
I tried so much.
Or they would say his mom can rest now. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the truth.
It is, but at the same time, there's no mom that's going, thank God.
No, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Thank God he died, because
at least you know where I was.
yeah, but listen, my brother died of an overdose, and my mom doesn't go every single day. Well, he's in a better place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
every single day, she's like, man, I wish you had the opportunity Michael had. You know what I mean? Like, how about this? This disease is seriously nasty and kills, and believe it or not, it's completely preventable. It's completely preventable. Who wants to go? Well, no, let's
go
go ahead.
Comment on what you said. You said about, you know, we break people.
Yeah.
We do. Remind me of Legends of the Fall, when Brad Pitt played Tristan. At the end, the Indian guy says, Tristan was the rock that everybody else broke themselves on. We are those rocks, but not in a necessarily good way.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
break people.
Yeah. It says it in a book, we're like a tornado. Roaring through everybody's lives, leaving nothing untouched. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. And here's the thing, guys. None of us have that intention. Nobody's like, I can't wait to destroy everybody. The truth is, we have the complete opposite. All we want to do is give. But we're we're seriously damaged, self-destructive, selfish people who are going through people's lives with the best intentions, the worst actions.
That I was a good father, that I was a good husband, that you know, I helped people, that I helped my church, that you know, that I built a legacy at work, that I built a business, and that you know, I helped out the community and was an outstanding citizen. I mean, that's what I want.
I mean, let me ask you, how attainable or easy does that sound if you're not drinking?
Very easy.
And let me ask you this: if you continue to drink, will they say those things?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So that's why I keep saying, like, so what's your main goal, and what are you willing to do for your main goal? Because it's crazy, guys. Anybody that's in here because they need to be sober or they know they want, like this is what I'm trying to tell you. There's a difference between wanting to be sober and having to be sober. You understand what I'm saying? Because how do we react when we want something? How do we go after it?
Full force.
Exactly. But when we need to do something, we go into it kicking the dog. Like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? We do it for a little bit because we know we have to, but then we can't wait to do what we want. Who else wants to go? Norman, go ahead.
I'd like to share.
Please.
You know, I'm sitting here right now thinking where I'm at, but really all that's coming to mind with my family is gratitude because, you know, I was married 22 years. The lady divorced me. She got tired of my shit day in and day out. We went through terrible times. You know, today I can say, you know, I have 3 grown daughters, and the first 2 times I went to rehab, that's what they thought. Dad's just not trying. Why don't you fucking try, you know? But then they started seeing me work in the program, they started seeing my life changing. They started getting educated on the disease. You know, if I died right now, I know without a doubt, they wouldn't badmouth me. They'd say, you know, Dad was a good dad, he provided for us. You know, he's struggled his whole life, you know, trying to beat his addiction. Because, you know, no matter whatever reason anybody's in here, I can tell you my reason of being here is not that I wanted to fucking be here, right? It's because on the day I didn't do what I want to do.
Yeah.
What I always tell people is the way I want to die. I want people to say, man, you know, that dude fought a hard fucking battle and he died sober. You know, that's all I want.
We love the underdog story. People, because here's the thing, people feed off that shit. People see you beat your shit, and they see you get better and do better and be better, and you know this. All of a sudden, you start attracting people, they start asking you stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can say, you know, the only reason my daughters feel like that today is because they truly see me putting the effort forward.
And because you were sober for a while. You went to your daughter's wedding sober.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you never did any of it, didn't get sober,
No.
went to treatment a couple times but never did anything, and were at your daughter's wedding?
You know, my mom told me,
wasted?
go get me a Diet Coke, and I go to this full fucking bar and there's shit everywhere. I have to stand there 5 minutes in front of all this beer. And I'll be honest to God with y'all, the thought of drinking did not cross my mind because I was in the
You
right
were
place.
spiritually fit
Right.
and connected and grounded, and you knew what your purpose was,
Yeah.
especially that day.
And so it can happen when you put for me, when I started just slipping on one thing, it compiles and I find myself right back in it.
Well, Norman, is this a true statement? We come in here, we start here, we get out, we go to AA or whatever you want to do, right? But it's a continuous thing. And we get in there and it's slow, hard work. And you make very little progress. But when we stop doing what we're doing, we slide back fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like we're slowly walking up a mountain. And when we stop doing what we're supposed to do, we're sliding back really fast. And we are back to this unhealthy, dangerous, negative thinking very quickly.
And I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
The same ex-wife that hated me is one of the reasons I'm here today. She thinks for help me. And she tells me you're not a bad person. You have a terrible disease and you have to deal with it.
Well, listen, I can promise you, you couldn't tell me I wasn't a piece of shit when I was in treatment. You couldn't tell me. I don't care what you say. I know how I feel. And then it took a while for me to really accept and understand the fact that I wasn't a bad person that did bad things. I wasn't a good person that did bad things. Even though I was a good person who did some bad things, it was because I was sick. When I realized that I was sick, I said, okay, what do I got to do to treat this sickness? Because I'm telling you, that's why I try to tell you guys all the time, if you think you're just going to decide to be better, it's not going to work. Because I've seen so many people try it, and I've tried it over and over. And I'm just as strong-willed as any person in here. You know how strong-willed we are? We'll chew our own arm off before we go back on our word. You know what I mean? When we put our mind to something, we'll do fucking anything. But not this. Like, if this thing was able to be, like, let's be real. If anybody could have done it by themselves, none of us would have met. Right? Listen, I promise you, I love yous. I love doing this. I love it. If I could have did it by myself, I would have never met anybody. I'd be out doing whatever. You know what I mean? This was the only way I ever found any freedom, any growth, anything. And that's why I believe in it so much. Anybody, you know, I was just off for the last month. And I think you, even the people that have just met me, you understand how much I like being here. I love my kids. I was off because I was spending time with my kids. When I tell you, I bet my kid's life on your program. I really do. If you do what that book says, anybody in here does what that book says and gets up and puts in the work, I bet my kid's life on that. I really would. Like, but here, the thing I keep saying, what are you willing to do? What are you willing, because this is usually what, we're willing to do what we think will work. When I was in Boston, and this guy's like, Mike, you need to pray every day. I'm like, what? You need to get on your hands and knees and pray every day. You know what I told him? I'm not getting on my hands and knees for nobody. You know what he told me? Mike, God is not nobody. He's everybody and everything. And I think you need to be humbled a little bit. And I said, well, shit. You know what I mean? How do you argue with that? Here's the thing though, I was willing to do it because I was afraid if I didn't do it, that'd be why it didn't work. And now when I tell you, I think praying is the most important thing. I could see going to meetings, that makes sense. Anytime I ever went to a meeting, I felt a little bit, you know what I mean? I was willing to do what I thought would work. But I wasn't willing to do the stuff that, and here's the thing too, get up and talk in meetings about low self-esteem and fear and feeling inadequate. What's that gonna matter? Talk about my brother dying of an overdose or home invasions, investigations. Talk about all, you know, my mom being abused. Talk about that. What's it matter? What's it gonna change? It ain't gonna do nothing. I thought I knew. I thought I knew, you know, and then you'll hear it all the time. A sick brain won't cure a sick brain. It won't. Who else wants to share? Please, somebody. Mr. Washington, come on, give me some.
If I was to die today, I think my kids would probably say, well, he was a good dad, you know. And one of my daughters is a social worker, and she know what I'm going through. And that's why I say he was a good man, had a good heart,
Bless you.
and all this and that, but they know I still got this disease going through. So I don't know how they would, if they would incorporate that into what they're saying or not. I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
But I do know they say he was a good man.
Yeah.
He just had ran into that disease.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we saying, like, if we died today, what would people think of us?
Yeah. What would your legacy be today?
Oh,
I got you. I got right after him.
Have you ever seen the documentary, A Certain Kind of Death?
No.
Basically, it's about what the city does to dead people. Well,
Okay.
I have no next of kin.
What's that got to do with this?
Oh, that's what will happen to me. Like, nobody else, they'll just, like, I could seriously die and nobody will know I'm dead because the rent's paid for, power's paid for, everything's paid for, I have no friends, no family. So they'll go on for a while. I don't know for how long. And then they do find my body, they'll probably just cremate it and bury it in a mass grave with a year on it. That's what the city does to
Okay.
those
So
people.
what you're telling me is you lack family. You lack
yeah.
community. You say there ain't people out. Listen,
Yeah.
Norman, anybody that's done this, I never went to AA looking for friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't against it, but that's not why I went. The only reason why I went is because they knew how to get sober and I was trying to learn some tricks. And I'm gonna learn some tricks, learn the secret handshake, and I'm gonna keep it moving. I have some of the most close, personal, intimate relationships with people that I never thought I would because of this. You could become part of a family, of a community, if you would just let your guard down a little bit and do the work. Not drink wine
I don't
immediately
drink wine, I
when you
drink
get out.
Hurricane. That was just because of Seattle.
I know. Fucking Seattle.
Yeah,
But
right.
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and listen, I don't understand that because I have family, you know? But I have so many friends and so many people, because of this program, because of this, because of, I know people that go through the struggle and I help them through the struggle and I talk to people and all of a sudden, I'm able to, because listen, here's the thing, as a human being, it is imprinted in our DNA. We are put on earth to help, love, teach, reach each other. If everybody's each other's crutches, nobody can fall too far. Do you know how important and how special you become to people when you help them and they help you? You become part of that fabric. Do you know that?
Yeah, now you're making me uncomfortable.
Why?
It's just a little too personal.
Okay, but listen, don't run from it.
Yeah.
The minute, listen, I promise you, nobody ever got sober because they stayed in their comfort zone. Nobody ever healed because, right? Am I wrong? If you are in your comfort zone, in this room, anywhere, guys, if you are sober and you're comfortable, you're doing it wrong. I promise you, this whole thing, how do you think you grow? You get uncomfortable, you get comfortable in that spot, and then you move to the next spot and you get uncomfortable with that. You think I like talking about my low self-esteem, my feeling inadequacy, thinking everybody's gonna judge me judging everybody? You think I like talking about that stuff? How much I hated myself? I couldn't admit hating myself because then you might know. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I realized, I got you 1 second on. I realized I needed to talk about the shit that I was trying to hold on to the most. Because it was easy in the beginning for me, to be honest. yeah, I'm a piece of shit, I hate doing drugs, this, that, you know, all. But I had to really, really, especially when I was going through the divorce, I was telling you guys this the other day, me talking about my divorce and my relationship problems, that was something I would never discuss with anybody, let alone a group of strangers. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know why? Because then you might look at me funny and judge me as weak. Do you understand what I'm saying? You might look at me, you might look at me as...
I can give two shits and fuck what people think about them.
I don't believe that's true.
No, actually, it's true.
Okay.
I really don't care.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I have nobody. So.
Okay. So you're pushing everybody away.
Pretty much. I like to alienate people.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, Norman.
I just want to say real quick, my comfort zone has got me back into treatment every time.
Yeah. Every time. All of a sudden we start, I'm telling you, you need to push yourself. Because, like I was telling you guys this the other day, every instinct, every coping skill, every thought you have is trying to kill you. It's trying to set you up. I went to church yesterday. Remember how I was talking about the Seinfeld thing and all this other shit? This motherfucker at church stole my shit. I'm telling you, I've been talking about that forever. He's in there. He's like, you guys need to be like George Costanza, because he was really talking about temptation in the flesh and not, you know, remember I was talking about how we think as long as we do what we want, when we want, we'll be happy. As long as we get what we want, when we want, we'll be happy. And he's like, I'm telling you. Because here's the thing, like I was telling you about that conscience thing. Just because nobody sees or just because you get away with it, doesn't mean that shit don't sit on your conscience. Doesn't mean you don't start saying to yourself, man, why did anybody in here been in a relationship, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and cheated on them and not get caught? Okay, but don't you still kind of feel like shit? Oh man, it's not a proud moment.
It's almost worse.
Well, yeah, depending on how you look at it. I'm a choosy. But I mean, here's the thing: if it was no big deal, why would it bother us? We need to live by our conscience. We need to be free. We need to be okay. We need to stop sucking the life out of everybody and everything that we come in contact to and start breathing life into them. Man, that'll fix your self-esteem. That'll build it up. Anybody else? Come on, I know you got something good for me. You keep forgetting?
No, I got it. I didn't start drinking until I was 38. And I think if I was, you know, guy now, they would say, you know, he's good to that disease, he's a good mom, good husband, good dad, good person, good friend, so that disease got a hold of him. And if I get out of here and stay clean, I would like to say, you know, he come across a bunch of adversities, but then he died a good husband, a good dad, a good friend, and you know, cared about everybody.
So how many people in here hate their fucking disease? Good, you're right where you're supposed to be. Guess what? My disease and becoming a heroin addict was the greatest thing that has ever happened to me. You know why? It completely destroyed me. Completely destroyed me and then allowed me to build myself back up into the person that God wanted me to be. Not the person that I decided to be. Not the people that you wanted me to be. Not the ones that I decided to be because this is the way it's supposed to be. Like really, really, really who I'm supposed to be. And do what I'm supposed to do. What you were just reading in that book, Jake, when you were showing me about getting right with your creator and all this other stuff, when I used to read that in the big book and other books, and it would talk about the creator and it would talk about this, I had no idea what it was talking about. And when I realized today, I was put on earth to help, love, teach, reach people, and to be as maximum service to anybody. That doesn't mean people in AA. It doesn't mean my family. Whatever comes across in my path, even if it's just making a joke to somebody, if it's holding the door open for somebody, I am so much more happy and like myself and connected, and I have so many more friends and family and all that stuff when I give. It is not about what can I get. It is not about amassing all this stuff. It's not about having fun. It's not about, because listen, I'll be honest with you, when I was living in that world and all the fun that I was having and all of this, I would go out on runs and I would do drugs and chase girls and do this and do that. It never made me feel good. It never made me feel good. It always made me feel ashamed and guilty and remorseful and saying to myself, what's wrong with you? Why? I mean, listen, I got some real criminal friends, right? Guys doing life on the installment plan, all this crazy shit. And I would have them, they would look at me and be like, Mike, what are you doing, man? You have a family. That's the type of shit people were saying to me. I mean, I'm sure you've had people in your life that are going, man, what's wrong with you? What are you doing this for? And really, what I could have said to them, but I really didn't even know it at the time, is I don't know how to live any other way. All I want to do is self-destruct because I'm so uncomfortable with myself and I'm so conflicted because I don't know about you, but I had a war going on in my head. When I was using drugs and I was having fun and I was selling drugs and I was doing all this shit, I had voices going, you're better than this, you shouldn't do this, this isn't the right way, but I would try to shut those voices off as much as possible and do the shit that I decided was gonna be to get to be where I need to be so I could be happy and all this other shit. And all it did, I had this tug of war going on in my head and I was never at peace. And that's what would cause me to hate myself and hate everybody else and be so goddamn confused and angry and mad and sad and uncomfortable. It was like I never was comfortable and knew what I was supposed to be doing in life. I was lost. I want you to share.
No. That he was a loving husband and father, loved his wife and daughter. This is down the road. He was a great chef, hard worker, liked to drink, loved to drink, but he got over it. And I guess today that he loved his wife and daughter. He struggled with alcohol, and he gets himself in trouble by doing it.
Wouldn't you like him to say he struggled with the alcohol, but then when he got better, he turned a negative into a positive. Not only did, all right, yeah, he struggled with this, and it was something that, but he came out of it better. He came out of it stronger, right? Because like I said, who in the air hates their disease, and everybody says, yeah, I get that. But what if I told you, if you do this the right way, it could be the best thing that ever happened to you? Or it could be the worst thing that ever happened to you. I used to hear people say, I'm a grateful recovering heroin addict. I'm like, you're a fucking loser. How could you be grateful when you used to be a heroin addict? Now I understand. Because without that, I'm just going through life with the wrong ideas, the wrong motives, and I'm just blind as I always was. I don't want to be blind no more. I don't know about you guys, but there is such a better way. You know, my 19-year-old, my kid, my friends and my family, they just, like my friend Mario in New York, he's my absolute best friend. He's as close to me as a brother. He's got brothers, I have brothers. We've grown up together. And he said, bro, I love seeing you like this. He's like, you're completely different, but you're exactly the same. And that was the best compliment anybody could have ever given me. Because I didn't lose any of myself. I kept all the good things about myself and got rid of that. And I've grown as a person and grown and spiritually and mentally and all that shit. And I've actually grown up. Like, I used to think I was such an adult because, you know, I did such adult shit, you know what I mean? But really, I was like a 5-year-old. I got told the word no, I kicked and screamed. I wanted to do what I want when I want. I didn't want to hear from nobody. And if you gave me shit, I gave you more shit back. There's no way to go through life. Anybody in here know what it's like to butt heads with everybody in their life, can't get along with nobody, especially when you're using? That's not fun. It's not the way it's supposed to be. Jake, you said it the other day. Your mom and your aunt are basically the only ones still holding for you. And you know why? Because they remember you when they were that little boy. You know what I mean? They know where, you understand what I'm saying? It's like they know your heart. They know this. They can look past that type of stuff because they know the real you. That's, you know, and the real you is in there. It's just been kind of corrupted by the outside world, the inside this, that spiritual malady. Like I said, isn't it crazy? Like, everybody's in here because they have the disease of drug addiction and alcoholism, but everybody's in here because they're spiritually sick. You need to get that spirit right? Like, if you had a drug and alcohol problem, the 9,000 times you quit drugs and alcohol, you'd have been fine. Everything would have been fine. Well, why do we go back to it? We got a hole in the soul, and I promise you, it cannot be filled with drugs, alcohol, or men, or women, or boats, or cars, or money, or anything. You try to fill it with that shit, it just, the hole gets bigger. All right, guys, anybody want to say anything? Please, somebody say something.
You're fucking awesome.
I love you guys too. I appreciate you guys.
And Jason wants to arm wrestle you.
No.
Your shoes are better than yesterday.
Well, thank you. So guys, for real, can we all look around and say, man, I'm giving a gift today. Just so you know, every single day is a gift. Most of the time it's a pair of socks, but it's a gift nonetheless. Life should not be a chore. We should not be going through life going, oh, geez, good.
Since I've been here, again, this is my first rehab, but the shit you take for granted, I mean, every little phone call, I take for granted out there is cherishable in here.
It is, and it's still pretty good in here. And here's the thing. Life may get uncomfortable for you a little bit when you leave here, but we need that. For real, I say this all the time. I don't know what anybody's been through trauma-wise and life-wise and this and that, but chances are we become drug addicts and alcoholics because life has been too good. When you always have money, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, when all your needs are taken care of and you always have a few dollars to go spend on drugs and alcohol, like, life is pretty good. There's people out there that don't have anything and are happier than we are. We're not looking at things the right way. You just need to look at things a little differently. Just remember this. Maybe you don't know what's good for you. If you knew what was good for you, you wouldn't be here. So just hang in there, one day at a time. Treat each other kindly. Treat each other with respect. Make a friend that don't look like you. Try to understand somebody. And understand, it does get better unless you go out and drink. It get worse. Everybody in here try to do a step one while they're here and realize that when you leave here, you put that shit in your body, it's going to make whatever you got going on worse. Never makes anything better. We good? Thank you, guys. 6 o'clock, bring your books. We're going to do, my pleasure.